And Apple TV brings some amazing views right to my living room with aerials. Now, one of the questions I get asked the most about aerials, especially by my family members, is, where is this? Well, this fall, with just a tap of the Siri remote, you'll now be able to see every aerial location. And you can even swipe between locations, so you can see even more. And today, I have an incredible new location to share with you. For the past year, we've been collaborating closely with an amazing partner, filming some stunning footage from around the world with a very unique vantage point. And here it is. Earth. This is filmed by astronauts aboard the International Space Station. You can see Sicily just off the boot of Italy, and check out that Mediterranean Sea. The blue is just phenomenal. So here's a fun fact. The space station makes an orbit every 90 minutes. So that means they get 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. And with all those sunsets, nighttime can be particularly stunning, the way those urban areas pop with light. Here we are flying over South Korea toward Japan. You can see Tokyo coming into view at the top, some distant stars, and even the upper reaches of the Earth's atmosphere, which is that orange band enveloping the Earth. And here's one that might look a little more familiar. This is the Northern California coast heading southward. You can see Lake Tahoe surrounded by snowcaps and the San Francisco Bay. These are truly incredible and offer such a unique perspective on the world. I'd like to give a huge thanks to the International Space Station, National Lab, and CASIS for all their help in making this a possibility. These are going to look incredible at home in 4K HDR. So that's tvOS. Apple TV gives you amazing picture and sound with 4K, HDR, and now Dolby Atmos. And the Apple TV app is the center of your video experience. Available on Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone, it's the one place to find all your favorite TV shows, movies, sports, and news. And with that, I'll hand it back to Tim. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Apple TV 4K and tvOS look and sound awesome. You're really going to love it. Next up is the Mac. At Apple, yeah, we love the Mac. The Mac was the first computer that made powerful technology so easy to use and put the customer at the center of the experience. And of course, that remains at the core of all Apple products. For more than 30 years, the Mac has empowered people to create all kinds of amazing things, from the personal to the professional. Today, we're excited to take Mac a huge leap forward. The next version of macOS is chock full of new features inspired by pro users, but designed for everyone. I'd like to bring Craig back up to talk about it. Craig?
Hello again. It's true that macOS is the heart of what makes Mac Mac. And we want as many Mac users as possible to have access to our latest software. And that's why 6 years ago, with the introduction of OS X Mavericks, we began offering our macOS updates free for Mac users. And 2013 was also the year that we first introduced our California naming theme. Now, after spending a year by the ocean, we not only modernized the look and feel of macOS, but we headed to the mountains with macOS Yosemite. Now, as you may be aware, our naming of Mac releases is handled by our crack marketing organization. And as you probably noticed, they went on a 4-year mountain-bound bender. In El Capitan, we added Metal, our groundbreaking graphics technology. In Sierra, we brought Siri to the Mac and extended our capabilities and continuity. And last year, with High Sierra, we focused on deep technology, preparing the Mac for future innovation. Well, this year, we've made some striking changes to Mac OS. And we've left the high country for a place entirely different but no less beautiful here still in California. And I'd like to take you there now. Our next release of Mac OS is Mac OS Mojave. Now, Mojave is beautiful during the day, but what really captured our imagination was the beauty of the desert at night. And this inspired one of our most distinctive new features, and I'd like to show it to you now. So here we are live in Mac OS Mojave, and I'd like to show you a new side of Mojave. We call it dark mode. Now, as you see, dark mode is not just about the dock or the menu bar. It extends to your Windows Chrome, your sidebar, and even the content of the windows. And it's so great for pros. It makes photographic content absolutely pop off the screen. It's just gorgeous. So nice. And this is great not just for photography, but when working on presentations or documents. It's also great doing ordinary things if maybe you're working in a dark environment. You just look at calendar and even mail in dark mode. It's so great. And I think some of us are going to want to run dark mode just because it's so cool. I mean, your emoji look great. Your photos look great. I mean, check out your album art in music or your For You feed in Apple Music. But I think one audience that's going to especially appreciate dark mode are some of you here in this room, our developers, because Xcode looks fantastic in dark. Whether it's your source code or even interface builder and all of its inspectors, they just look fantastic in black. And that's a quick look at dark mode. Now, we were so inspired by this changing desktop wallpaper that we decided to add a new feature to Mojave that I think you'll enjoy. It's called Dynamic Desktop. And when you're using it, your desktop actually subtly changes throughout the day, from morning to afternoon to evening. It's really cool. Now, there's much more to Mojave that I'd like to share with you through demos, and it starts with the desktop. Now, the desktop is so crucial to how many of us use our Macs. When we have files that we're actively working on, we often put them on the desktop, but the result can be a desktop that looks something like this. And so now in Mojave, we have a really great solution, and we call it Desktop Stacks. All of the contents of your desktop are automatically arranged into these stacks. They can be arranged by kind, by date, or even by tag. And they're really easy to use. You just click on them, you can see all the contents in the stack, you can double-click to open a document, and put it away. And they stay organized. So for instance, if I bring forward mail, maybe I drag an image out, I want you to watch what happens. So the image flies right into the right stack. Now, you can also scrub your stacks. So for instance, I'll just scrub across this stack. You see I can select between different photos, pick one up. Actually, let me just hide mail here, mid-drag. Got a little excited with my, with all of my stack action. So I can just drag this out and drop it in just like that. And that's a quick look at stacks. Now, We've also brought some great new changes to the Finder. I'd like to show them to you now. Now, it starts with a new view. We all enjoy using icon view, list view, there's of course column view, but now we've added an all-new view. It's called gallery view with a new view. It has a big preview up top, a set of thumbnails along the bottom. It makes it easy to preview images, video, presentations, documents, spreadsheets, PDFs, and of course with images. Sometimes you want to know more detail about, for instance, how they were captured. And now the new sidebar in Mojave really helps because it now supports full metadata. So you can see around your photo the camera you took the photo on, the kind of lens, the aperture settings, and so forth. It's really handy. And you'll notice also along the bottom, there's this new area called Quick Actions. And Quick Actions let you act on current photo. So for instance, if I have a photo like this and I want to edit it, I don't have to open it and go or do a new app. I can rotate it right here inside the Finder. It's really powerful. Now, this sidebar is available in other views of the Finder. So for instance, I'm just going to bring up the preview pane here, and I'm going to do a multi-selection of a PDF as well as several images. And you'll notice that the Quick Actions area is contextual. So it shows me Create PDF as an option. I'm going to click Create PDF, and it's going to assemble all of these photos into a PDF, just like that. But what's really great is these actions are also customizable. So you can create automator actions and assign them to buttons here inside of Finder. So you'll notice that now that I have this PDF selected, I have an option to run a custom automator action that I've created called Watermark PDF. When I click it, my custom action runs, and my document is watermarked, just like that. And those are some quick enhancements to the Finder. Now, a tool that I think many of us love when working with files is Quick Look. And now in Mojave, we've made Quick Look more powerful than ever by integrating markup. Let me show you how it works. So you see down here, I have a permission slip in it's a PDF document. I'm just going to tap spacebar to Quick Look it. And you notice now I have the option to invoke markup. Click, and now I have access to my markup tools, including my ability to sign this document. I can just drag out my signature like this, and I'm done. Now, this works for all kinds of files. So for instance, with images, I can rotate and crop. And with video, I can even trim right here inside of Quick Look. That's a quick look at Quick Look. Next, I want to talk about how we capture content on our Mac. One of the tools I think many of us use all the time is screenshots. And we made screenshots more powerful than ever in Mojave.
Oké, nagyon jó, most továbbra is a fotós biztoszképen. Most váltott át a képernyő, most egy nagy képet látunk.
And I'm just going to take a screenshot in the traditional way. I'm going to screenshot a selection
kibaszott kép, most húz bele valami fos,
and I want you to watch what happens in the lower right. I get a thumbnail instantly of that screenshot. And when I double click in, I get an accelerated workflow right into markup, where I have access to all my tools. So for instance, if I want to create a magnification here, I can just drag that out, magnify. It's that easy. But now we've also made it easier to access a variety of tools. So when I bring up my screenshotting, you see I have presented with this HUD that tells me I could capture the entire screen, a selected window or selection, but we've also added screen capture for video right into screenshotting. Let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go to a web page here that has an animation running. I'm going to bring up my screenshotting tools and say to record the selected area. I'll just make a nice selection here. Okay, and I'm recording just like that. Of course, I can manipulate the app, so all be reflected in my recording. And when I'm done, I can click the stop button right up here. And now you notice I have this thumbnail in the lower right. Well, I can actually pick this up and drag it into a new space and incorporate it right into a document, just like that. Now, we further enhance the way you capture content, and that brings me to continuity. So Mac users love continuity for the way it lets us work across our devices with things like AirDrop or the ability to unlock your Mac using your Apple Watch. When it comes to capturing content, we all walk around with one of the best content capture devices in the world in our pockets, our phones. And so we wanted to take advantage of continuity to bring that to the Mac with a feature we call Continuity Camera. Let me show you how it works. So here in my keynote presentation, I have a space that's just waiting for a new photo. And I have my phone right here. Well, when I select this object, I can choose to take a photo. And I want you to watch what happens when I select this to my phone. It automatically, immediately lights up, ready to take a photo. So I can take one like this. And when I can select Use Photo, and it appears directly in my document. Isn't that cool? Now, this works as well for scanning documents. So here I have a place where I could use a scan. Once again, I'm going to select from the menu, and this time Scan Document. Again, my camera lights up, this time right in my document scanner. I just scan like this. I can save it. And my scan goes immediately in. I think I forgot to push the save button. Sorry about that, everybody. There you go. Appears immediately in my document. Thank you. And so just like that, I can take photos, stills, and even capture video. And this is a quick look at some great new features in Mojave. Next, I'd like to turn to apps. We are bringing news to the Mac. Now, news has all of the stories you've come to expect from news on iOS, and they look amazing on the Mac display. You get top stories picked by our editors, trending stories, you're personalized for you, and that's not for me. And you also get this great new sidebar where you can drill in and jump right to the topics and channels you follow. News is going to be great. We also have stocks coming to the Mac. Now, you get your stock prices combined with high-quality business news. It's delivered from Apple News. Shows you your watch list with your prices. On the left, you can even drill into this interactive chart to get more information. And of course, great news. We're also bringing voice memos to the Mac. Now, voice memos is the most popular voice recorder on iOS. And so many of us use it to capture music recordings or lectures. And now that voice memos syncs via iCloud to your Mac, you can take those recordings that you make and, for instance, drag them right into GarageBand as the foundation for a song. Finally, thrilled to announce Home is coming to the Mac as well. You have all of your accessories here. You can run your scenes as well as monitor your video cameras. And, of course, with Siri, you can command your home with your voice. So those are 4 great new apps coming to Mojave. Next, I'd like to talk about security and privacy. You know, one of the reasons that people choose Apple products is because of our commitment to security and privacy. And we believe that your private data should remain private. Now, not because you've done something wrong or that you have something to hide, but because there can be a lot of sensitive data on your devices, and we think you should be in control of who sees it. Now, to begin, we protect your information on your devices using state-of-the-art hardware and software. And this year, we're adding greater protections about how apps can access that information. Today, Apple devices check in with you before granting an app access to information, like your location. You can tell because you'll see an alert just like this. And macOS already provides API-level protections for things like contacts, photos, calendar, and reminders. But now in Mojave, we're extending these protections to include your camera and your microphone, as well as protecting sensitive parts of your file system, like your mail database, your message history, and your backups. And all of this is protected by default for any app that you run on the system. Important protection. Next, I want to turn to some great enhancements to Safari. Safari works really hard to protect your privacy, and this year it's working even harder. Last year, we introduced intelligent tracking prevention to dramatically reduce the ability for apps to track you across websites using cookies. This is the kind of thing where you look at a product on one site, then you move to another site, and somehow this is just following you wherever you go. Well, we've all seen these like buttons and share buttons, and these comment fields. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you, whether you click on them or not. And so this year, we are shutting that down. Now, if you do want to interact with one of these, or one of these apps tries to access that information, you'll get this, and you can decide to keep your information private. Now, next, let's talk about fingerprinting. You know, data companies are clever and relentless. And in addition to cookies, they use another method called fingerprinting. And here's how it works. Just like you can be identified by a fingerprint, it turns out that when you browse the web, your device can be identified by a unique set of characteristics, like its configuration, its fonts that you have installed, and the plugins that you might have on the device. And these data companies can use this set of characteristics to construct a unique fingerprint to track your device from site to site. With Mojave, we're making it much harder for trackers to create a unique fingerprint. We're presenting web pages with only a simplified system configuration. We show them only built-in fonts. And legacy plugins are no longer supported, so those can't contribute to a fingerprint. And as a result, your Mac will look more like everyone else's Mac, and it will be dramatically more difficult for data companies to uniquely identify your device and track you.